The Senate will come to order. The senators will take their seats. Those persons not entitled to the privileges of the floor will retire to the gallery. Good morning, senators. Good morning, guests. The senators and those in attendance, if you are able, please rise. We will be led in prayer this morning by the Reverend Dr. Sam Fry of First Simple Church in Williamsburg. Following the prayer, everyone will please remain standing, and we will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America by our Senate page, Margaret Bartos of Fairfax.
Would you bow your heads? Father, I thank you for these men and women in this chamber and for entrusting them with such a grave responsibility. And Father, I pray that you'll honor them and protect them. Thank you, Father, for the sacrifices of the men and women in our military and our first responders who sacrifice daily to keep our country free and our communities safe. Protect them and bless their families, Lord. And Father, your word reminds us in James chapter 4, you desire but do not have, you covet, but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. When you ask, do not receive because you ask with the wrong motives. So, Father, I pray this afternoon for God-honoring motives. Give each leader here today wisdom, discernment, unity, and a collaborative spirit to lead according to your direction. And, Father, honor them all for their service, their spirit, their sacrifice, but also for their faithfulness. And, Lord, each person, embrace your solution to the division in our world, nation, and countries. You remind us, you give us that recipe in 2 Chronicles, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their ways, then I will hear from heaven and I'll forgive their sin and will heal their land. So, Father, I pray for spirited discussions, but God-honoring decisions. Give each person the desire, as you tell us in James 1, to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Foster lively debates, but remove factions and personal agendas. And Lord, press upon each heart here today to focus on your will, your way, and your word. And we ask these things in your precious name, the Lord of all. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk will call the roll. All those present, vote aye. The clerk will close the roll.
You have a quorum, Madam President. Senate Journal for Tuesday, January 30th, 2024.
The senator from Arlington, Senator Favola, moves that the reading of the journal be waived. All those in favor of waiving the reading of the journal will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 39, noes 1.
Ayes 39, noes 1. The reading of the journal is waived. The clerk will report any communications from the House of Delegates. Chair recognizes Senator Surreville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Good afternoon, Madam President.
Good afternoon.
I move to waive reading of the House communication.
The question is, shall the reading of the communication from the House be waived? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 39, noes 1.
Ayes 39, noes 1. The reading of the communication from the House of Delegates is waived. The clerk will report any announcements from communications from the governor.
We do not have any, Madam President.
We have quickly arrived at the time in our morning hour when we will discover who our wonderful guests in the gallery are. The normal procedure is your senator will stand and tell us who you are, and please stand at that time so that we can see your lovely faces. And if you'll hold your applause until I've spoken, then we can really give you that round of applause. And so with that, I call on Senator DeSteph, the senior senator from Virginia Beach.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, I'd like to point the Senate's attention in our galley today. We have Reverend Dr. Sam Fry, a seasoned professional with 40 years of executive-level strategic development experience in government and Fortune 25 companies. He's also a dedicated 35-year to pastoral ministries, including roles as a police chaplain, a certified officer. Since 2005, he's volunteered with over 12,000 hours with the James City County Police Department, serving as a crisis negotiations team member and co-founding the peer teams, holding a doctorate in biblical counseling and various master's degrees. Dr. Fry is a certified critical incident stress management facilitator and a master certified police chaplain. Additionally, he's a national chaplain and marketing director for Law Enforcement United. Dr. Fry is a former U.S. Marine and is also a bivocational pastor, church planter, and will soon deploy to Tel Aviv to conduct critical incident stress debriefings with the Israeli National Police Department. Alongside with other police chaplains, he'll meet with the Israeli parliament as part of that mission. Additionally, joining him today is Debbie Fry, co-founder of First Simple Church in 2012, is a passionate biblical counselor with a PhD in biblical counseling and a master's in education. As a ministry director, she manages daily church operations, oversees research, outreach, and actively engages in the Wesleyan Church at the district level. A dedicated pastor's wife, Debbie emphasizes the connection between spiritual and physical health, drawing from her background as a health professional. A recognized speaker, she addresses diverse audiences and exercises her spiritual gift to promote better health through biblical teachings. Beyond church involvement, she supports law enforcement, military families, and is in the biker community while enjoying rides with her friends on her Harley Davidson. Madam President, if we could give him the warmest welcome of the Senate, I would appreciate it.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for that wonderful prayer, Dr. Fry and Mrs. Fry. I don't know, it sounds like you've been living 10 lives with all that you do, with all the both of you do, all the sacrifices that you make. And you do find time for yourselves, and that's so important that as you're encouraging others, especially spiritually, that you don't neglect your own health. And so I've been toying with the idea of buying a motorcycle myself. Might see you on the road. But thank you so very much for the sacrifices that you both make. We're glad of them. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Again, Senator DeSteph, the senior senator from Virginia Beach.
Madam President, I rise for an additional introduction. I'd like to draw the Senate's attention. Joining us today in the gallery, we have Jamie Green, Director of VMRC, and Zach Widgeon, who is his CIO, Chief Information Officer with the Virginia Marine Resources Commission. If you live or work in coastal Virginia, you'll know about the invaluable role of the VMRC in the Commonwealth. I'd like to thank these gentlemen for their contributions and ask that we give them the warmest welcome of the Senate.
If you are here, please rise. Right there in the middle. Thank you for coming, and thank you for what you do on the VMRC. Indeed, we do need someone understanding the marine resources, and it is very helpful to our coastline and to our economy, more importantly, and the small businesses and other businesses that get their resources from it and the jobs that it creates. So thank you very much. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Bagby, the senior senator from Enrico.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President and members of the Senate, joining us in the gallery today is the Virginia Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, founded in 1929. This nonprofit organization of food and nutrition experts represents over 1,400 registered dietetics across the Commonwealth, and I ask that you grant them a warm welcome of the Senate.
Well, thank you for coming and watching your Senate in action and letting us know what the importance of your field is to, the health of Virginians. And we're so glad that you do what you do, because indeed, without good health, what do we have? Even if you have all the money in the world. Thank you. Senators, let us give her, stand, a warm welcome of her Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Pillion, the senator from Washington.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction and an announcement.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Today in the gallery, we're joined by several leaders from the town of St. Paul, and it's such a great place that both Russell and Wise counties try to claim it. I'd ask that you give them a warm welcome in the Senate, Madam President.
There you are. Welcome again to you, and thank you for coming. Our fellow elected officials, you're seeing us as we do what we do in ensuring that your views are represented. Thank you for coming. Senators, and by the way, thank you for your sacrifices. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate.
And an announcement. Madam President, and an announcement.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President. This evening at 5:30 at the Library of Virginia, we will be hosting the annual Southwest Virginia reception. We'll have music and food, and if the senator from Tazewell brought his shoes, we will have dancing as well. I'd invite each of you to come on over and enjoy a little bit of Southwest Virginia, and I'd invite you all to come over and enjoy the fun. Thanks so much.
Chair now recognizes Senator Rome, the junior senator from Prince William.
Well, thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, joining us in the gallery today are some of the folks from the Virginia Data Center Reform Coalition, if you'd like to stand up. And Madam President, these folks are fighting for a greener, cleaner future here, where we are preserving our land, keeping the woods, taking care of our wildlife, taking care of quality of life, and most importantly of all, making sure that legislators know that there's always two sides to the story. So on behalf of the Outer Nova delegation and even the senator from King George, we would like to welcome all of them to their state senate.
Well, thank you, and good afternoon to you. Thank you for coming. And as the senator has said, we must hear both sides of an issue before decisions are made. And if you're not here, then we don't know what it is that you want and what you stand for and your advocacy for your position. Always welcome. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Deeds, the senator from Charlottesville.
Madam President, I rise for two introductions.
The senator has the floor.
I'm pleased to announce, Madam President, that in the gallery is a large delegation of faculty, staff, and students from Piedmont Virginia Community College. They're led by Jean Runyon, who's the president of Piedmont, Virginia, but we also have the president of the student body and also the vice president of the student body up there. PVCC is well recognized for its focus on civic engagement. The students there are passionate about the issues facing their communities, and they're motivated to be part of the solution. PVCC consistently receives national recognition for its civic engagement efforts to increase voter engagement and registration among students. The college recently earned the 2023-2024 Voter-Friendly Campus designation, which highlights commitment and dedication to engaging the campus community and promoting voter registration and voting as part of the PVCC mission. The Voter-Friendly Campus Initiative is led by national nonpartisan organizations, Campus Vote Project, and Student Affairs Administrators of Higher Education. I would appreciate it, Madam President, if you would give this group a hearty welcome from the Senate of Virginia.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you for coming. And as the senator has said, you have passion for what you do. Do you know what that is? That's the fire that you need to accomplish your goal. Without the fire, it won't work. You'll be half-hearted. And from what I've heard, if you love what you do, it won't ever be considered work. Thank you for being there. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Again, Senator Deeds.
Madam President, today in the gallery as well, we have members with us from the Virginia Academy of Clinical Psychologists. Clinical psychology is the psychological specialty that provides continuing and comprehensive mental and behavioral health care for individuals, couples, families, and groups, consultation to agencies and communities, training, education, and supervision, and research-based practice. It is a specialty marked by comprehensiveness and integration of knowledge and skill from a broad array of disciplines. The VACP is the voice of professional clinical psychology within the Commonwealth. Their purpose is to advance the practice of clinical psychology as a science, as a profession, and as a means of promoting human welfare. VACP provides the opportunity for the exchange of experience and research through discussions, presentation, and publications, and by educating the public. I'd ask the Senate to offer them the warm welcome of the Senate of Virginia.
Thank you for coming and for watching your Senate in action. You know, for so long, people were thought weak if they sought clinical help for the issues that they faced. But thankfully, we're no longer in those times, and we're so glad that you are available to us. And thank you for what you do. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Jordan, the senator from Isle of Wight.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Today in the gallery, we have students and staff from Camp Community College, and I'd ask that they would stand. Camp Community College services the communities of Franklin, Isle of Wight, Suffolk, and Southampton counties. Led and with us in the chamber today is the president of Camp Community College, Dr. Corey McCrae, who is truly an innovator in workforce development, community and business partnerships, and skilled trades. I've been lucky enough to also call him my friend for over 20 years. Dr. McCrae is joined by his leadership team, Dr. Tony Johnson, Dr. Tara Atkins-Brady, Dr. Angela Schaefer, and Mr. Jeff Ziegler, and their students that are our future leaders as they meet with members across this Capitol. I hope it would be the pleasure of this body to give Camp Community College and their leaders and students a warm welcome of the Senate.
Good afternoon to you, and thank you for coming, and thank you, Mr. President, for the sacrifices that you're necessarily making. We are so glad for our community colleges. They contribute so much to workforce development. And indeed, what would we do without you? I am a product of the community college system. We are glad for our community colleges. Thank you. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Locke, the senator from Hampton.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for two introductions.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to give the warm welcome to the Senate to the Virginia Community Healthcare Association, an organization whose vision it is for the Commonwealth of Virginia to have the healthiest population in America. If you would please extend to them the warm welcome of the Senate.
Oh, how lovely you all look. We are so glad that you are here. We are so in dire need of more persons in the healthcare field, and so we're just going to have to find them. And our community colleges are going to help us find them and train them. And thank you for being in our communities where you are needed the most. Thank you. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Again, Senator Locke.
Thank you, Madam President. We also have in the gallery today the American Association of University Women of Virginia, who are visiting for their annual State Lobby Day. Since 1881, AAUW members have examined and taken positions on the fundamental issues of the day: educational, social, economic, and political. AAUW continues to advance equity for women and girls through advocacy, education, philanthropy, and research. The first AAU branch in Virginia was established here in Richmond in 1909. In 1925, delegates from branches around the state gathered in Williamsburg to establish the Virginia State Division, which today has grown to 23 branches and more than 1,300 members and supporters in the Commonwealth. Please join me in welcoming members of the American Association of University Women of Virginia.
Good afternoon, women. Thank you for what you do. In fact, the senator has said this is an annual day for you, which means you're coming back next year and the year after that and the year after that, because the issues are important to you and you know we must hear from you. Thank you for that dedication. Thank you. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Durant, the senator from Stafford.
Madam President, I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, today we welcome students from St. Margaret's. I ask these students to rise. There we are. Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. Madam President, St. Margaret's is situated on the Rappahannock River. It's a beautiful campus and is a unique all-girls boarding and day school for grades 8 through 12, as well as postgraduate in Tappahannock, Virginia. St. Margaret's was established in 1921 by the Episcopal Diocese of Virginia, and it offers, Madam President, a immersive educational experience, including a dynamic STREAM program, which stands for Science, Technology, River, Arts, and Math, extending classroom learning to its dock classroom and outdoor spaces. Students actively research local waterways and wildlife, fostering a deep understanding and commitment to the environmental stewardship. The school's athletic program is robust, with St. Margaret's Scotties participating in 13 different sports, including field hockey, soccer, swimming, basketball, volleyball, crew, and tennis. Beyond academics and sports, St. Margaret's fosters a strong sense of community. The students, who are adventurous and inquisitive young women, form a sisterhood that lasts beyond their schooling years. The school's idyllic location on the riverfront allows for an array of water-based recreational activities like sailing, tubing, kayaking, motorboating, enriching the school's students' overall experience. Its motto, central to St. Margaret's ethos, is drawn from the prayer, "As we grow in age, may we grow in grace." This reflects the school's commitment to nurturing a culture of inclusivity, grace, continuous learning grounded in its Episcopalian faith. St. Margaret's educates students across the country and around the world. Today's group of 19 students includes students from Hawaii, New Orleans, Afghanistan, Malaysia, Uganda, Tanzania, Jamaica, and Virginia. I ask that we give them a warm Senate welcome.
Good afternoon, girls. What I'm hearing is that we have people from pretty much all over the world, both sides of the globe. And so surely you will learn a great deal from each other. What I hope you also learn in addition to your studies is get rid of the naysayers around you, the people who tell you that you can't. Get rid of the people who are trying to bring you down. Make sure that you surround yourself, as we've always heard, with the warriors, because you will continue to go far. Thank you for what you do. Senators, we're looking for great things from you. And by the way, I understand that one of you is the daughter of the senator. And so you've got a good example of how to be. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes the senator from Norfolk, Senator Williams Graves.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Today in the gallery, we have Dr. Marcia Constant, President of Tidewater Community College, members of the board, and students. And I would ask if they would please stand. Tidewater Community College is the second largest community college in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and in my opinion, the best. They are proud to educate and train nearly 25,000 students. More than 30% of TCC students have a military connection. Additionally, 1/3 of all of the students attending an institution of higher learning in Southampton Roads attend classes at Tidewater Community College. TCC is exceptionally proud that 81% of their students and alumni stay local. They plant roots in our community, and the training investment in their education is returned time and time again in long-lasting careers. The TCC delegation today is led by Dr. Constant, who is in her 5th year of service. Time really does fly when you're having fun, doesn't it? We also have many board members and support staff who are in attendance as well. Most importantly, we have students who represent our promise. These students are currently enrolled to be trained and find careers in healthcare, welding, maritime careers, renewable energy, and IT. We are proud of their advancement and dedicate ourselves to their success. Madam President, I am a proud TCC alum, and together we are an embodiment of our tagline, which says, "From here, go anywhere." Madam President, it would be my wish that we would offer the members of TCC and their staff and faculty a warm Senate welcome.
Indeed, from here, go anywhere would include me, because TCC is my community college. And never could you see yourself doing the things that, well, you find yourself involved in. Thank you so very much, Dr. Constant, for what you do for faculty, for students. Indeed, the community college system is not what it used to be. You've gotten so involved in so many different things, including having the small business development centers, other career centers, workforce development, as we know, just so much. You've broadened your reach, and Virginia is better for it. Thank you all. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Is there any other business to come before the Senate? Hearing none, the clerk will call the calendar.
The Senate calendar for Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. Uncontested calendar. Senate bills on third reading.
Chair recognizes Senator Sorovell, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Senate bills on the third reading uncontested calendar, pages 1 through 4, Senate bills 207 to 728, be placed upon their final passage in the block. Any senator desiring to remove a bill from the block shall do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill.
The question is, shall the Senate bills on the uncontested calendar, third reading, pages 1 through 4, Senate bills 207 through Senate bill 728, be placed upon their final passage in the block with the understanding that any senator desiring a bill to be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The clerk will now read the number of the bills before us in the block.
Senate Bill 207, Senate Bill 117, Senate Bill 125, Senate Bill 323, Senate Bill 389, Senate Bill 530, Senate Bill 534, Senate Bill 574, Senate Bill 635, Senate Bill 658, Senate Bill 728,
The question is, shall the bills in the block pass? All in favor of passage of the bills will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The bills in the block pass.
Regular calendar, Senate bills on third reading. Senate Bill 11, cruelty to animals, possession and ownership of animals. And we have a floor amendment.
Chair recognizes the senator from Arlington, Senator Favola.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that we reconsider the vote by which the bill was ordered to be engrossed in advance to its third reading.
The question is, shall the vote by which Senate Bill 11 was engrossed in advance to its third reading be reconsidered? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote?
Madam President,
For what purpose does the senator from Hanover rise?
parliamentary inquiry.
The senator may continue.
This bill was reconsidered yesterday, so it takes unanimous consent to reconsider it again today.
The senator is correct. Unanimous consent.
Thank you, Madam President.
The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The bill is reconsidered.
Okay.
Senator Favola.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that we waive the reading of the floor amendment.
The question is, shall the reading of the floor amendment be waived? Those in favor of that motion will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The reading of the floor amendment is waived. Senator Favola.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we agree to the floor amendment and speaking to that motion.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. At the request of the senator from Lynchburg and others, I submitted this amendment, which essentially says that if the court rules that you have been convicted of a felony assault of an animal, this would be a companion animal or an equine, and the court decides that you shall not possess or own an animal for up to a lifetime, this amendment would allow you to petition the court after 5 years to regain the right to own or possess a companion animal or an equine. With that explanation, I hope the amendment passes.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the senator from Rockingham, Senator Obenshain.
I would ask whether the senator from Arlington would yield for a question.
Will the senator from Arlington yield?
Happily.
Senator Favola yields. Senator Obenshain has the floor.
Madam President, once again, I rise to ask a question about the restoration of rights. Does the senior senator from Arlington not support automatic restoration of rights?
Senator Favola has the floor.
If we are talking about the automatic restoration of rights for individuals who have done their time as offenders and they are now eligible to receive their voting rights, I absolutely support the restoration of rights automatically.
Madam President, I'll take that as a no with respect to this bill. Would that be accurate?
Senator Favola.
That is accurate because the bill does not grant an automatic restoration of rights. So the senator has the correct, for Rockingham, is correct in his read of the bill.
Madam President, I thank the senior senator from Arlington.
Chair recognizes Senator Peake, the senator from Lynchburg.
Thank you, Madam President. I just rise to thank the gentle senator from Arlington for making this amendment and working with us to put this in. I think it does make the bill better so there's not a lifetime ban that cannot be reviewed, and I am now going to support the bill. Thank you.
The question is, shall the floor amendment be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The floor amendment is agreed to. Senator Favola.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the bill now be engrossed in advance to its third constitutional reading.
The question is, shall the bill be engrossed in advance to its third reading? Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed in advance to its third reading. Senator Favola.
I now move that we suspend the rules and dispense with the third constitutional reading.
The question is, shall the rules be suspended and the third constitutional reading be dispensed with? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The rules are suspended and the third constitutional reading is dispensed with. Again, Senator Favola.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the bill pass, and speaking very briefly to that motion.
The senator has the floor.
I have explained the bill, I believe, at least twice, and if there are any questions, I am happy to entertain them. This is a very good bill. It protects companion animals and equines. It offers some penalties with the acknowledgement that there is an opportunity for rehabilitation. I think this is the best legislation we can get from a legislative process. I strongly encourage my colleagues to vote for this bill. Thank you.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 39, noes 1.
Ayes 39, noes 1. The bill passes.
Senate Bill 521. Senate Bill 521, pre-need funeral contracts, declinable pre-need funeral guarantee fee.
Chair recognizes Senator Williams-Graves, the senator from Norfolk.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that Senate Bill 521 pass again, and I'd like to speak to that bill.
The senator has the floor.
Senate Bill 521 defines declinable pre-need funeral guarantee fee as an optional and declinable fee agreed to by a pre-need contract purchaser if offered by a seller, for which the cost of the supplies and services as described in the pre-need funeral contract are guaranteed. The bill describes certain requirements that must be met for funeral service licensees to offer declinable pre-need funeral guarantee fees. The bill directs the Board of Funeral Directors and Embalmers to adopt emergency regulations to implement the provisions of the bill. This bill contains an enactment clause. I move that the bill pass and yet again be advanced into its third constitutional reading. I just moved the passage again.
The question is, I was trying to help you, Senator. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Prince William, Senator McPike.
Thank you, Madam President. Would the senator from Norfolk yield for a question?
Will the senator from Norfolk yield?
Yes, Madam President.
Senator yields. Senator McPike has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Given that this is the senator's first bill on regular calendar, I'm wondering if the good senator can explain lines 128 to 131 in regards to supplies sold and delivered prior to death.
Senator Williams Graves has the floor.
Madam President, I would answer the senator that if he'd asked that question yesterday when this bill first came up and was on his game, I would be willing to look at those lines and give him an explanation. But since he was asleep at the wheel, Madam President, he's going to have to just figure it out for himself.
Point of order, Madam President. Question of motives.
The senator has the floor. Senator McPike.
Would the senator yield for an additional question?
Will Senator Williams Graves yield?
Yes, Madam President.
Senator yields. Senator McPike has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. No, so to clarify, lines 120 through 131 say if funeral supplies are sold and delivered prior to the death of the subject for whom they are provided. So, Madam President, what about the undead? What's going on here? What about Dracula and his family and considered in this line in this bill provisions, Madam President?
Senator Williams Graves.
Madam President, I would answer the senator to say that it is disrespectful to joke about death.
Madam President, follow-up question if the senator would
Senator
yield.
McPike.
In all deference, I'm trying to protect those rights to be able to, apparently the section lays out where I can buy my coffin. Is it not true I could buy my coffin and set it beyond in my living room and wake up in the morning under the provisions of this act? Right out of my coffin.
Senator Williams Graves has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I would say if that is the senator's wish, then who am I to stop him from getting up out of a coffin?
Madam President, I thank the good senator for acknowledging my wishes. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Senator Stanley, the senator from Franklin County.
Thank you, Madam President. Would the gentlelady yield for a question?
Will the senator from Norfolk yield?
Yes, Madam President.
Senator yields. Senator Stanley has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd ask the senator, looking over this bill, there's some definitions. And one of the definitions is, you know, they have funeral director, directing a funeral, and then there's this one called funeral service intern. Now, Madam President, I would ask the senator if I were to apply for the job of becoming a funeral service intern, would that mean that I would necessarily have to be a mourning person?
Senator Williams Graves has the floor.
Madam President, I would answer the good senator that death is a 24-hour business, so he would have to have the ability to stay up for 24 hours. Given his age, I'm not sure he can do that.
Madam President, will the smarty pants senator yield for another question?
Will the senator from Norfolk yield?
The senator in address will yield.
Senator Stanley has the
My
floor.
apologies. Thank you, Madam President. I would agree with the young senator that the funeral business is a dying business. I feel like Senator Rouse right now. But what I'd like to know is, well, you know, you're the king of the puns. I'm just trying to catch up. Madam President, I would ask the senator, did she talk to any stakeholders before she passed this bill? And if she did she do so through a seance or Ouija board?
All right, Senator Williams Graves has the opportunity.
Madam President, I would say, as all of my colleagues, we do our due diligence. We make sure we have the facts, and we bring only the facts when we come to this floor. So I have done my homework, and the bill is before you for a vote.
Madam President.
Senator Stanley.
I'm relentless. Will the senator yield for one last question?
Will the senator from Norfolk yield?
Sure.
Senator Williams Graves yields. Senator Stanley has the floor.
Madam President, I'd ask the senator, I'm afraid that this bill may be dead on arrival. But my question really is, because I know that this senator puts the fun in funeral. And so my question, Madam President, simply is this. Is this bill being introduced because the competition in the funeral business is so stiff?
Senator Williams Graves.
Madam President, I would answer the good senator by saying I do appreciate all of his puns and plays on words. However, this bill is a good consumer protection bill, and again, it is before us for a vote.
And I thank the senator.
Chair recognizes Senator McDougal, the senator from Hanover.
Madam President, I was debating voting on this bill, but clearly after listening to those alleged jokes, what this really is a unemployment insurance bill for people who were at the comedy club last night, because this was not our best display.
Would the senator like to tee up the bill again?
Madam President, do your thing.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Pass.
Madam President, shall the bill pass?
Those in favor of passage will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, noes 0.
Ayes 40, noes 0. The bill passes.
Senate Bill 73, Photo Monitoring System for Traffic Signals, Retired Law Enforcement Officials to Review Violations.
Chair recognizes Senator Craig, senator from Chesapeake.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill pass and speaking to the bill.
The senator may continue.
Thank you. This bill simply allows retired law enforcement officers to review the red light videos and determine if the vehicle actually ran the red light. Currently, right now, this bill is only allowing full-time law enforcement officers to view these bills. We are going to use retired law enforcement officers. They will not be sworn, and they will be just employees of the department to view these bills so that we can put our full-time officers back on the street protecting and serving where they belong. Thank you.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 31, noes 9.
Ayes 31, noes 9. The bill passes.
Senate Bill 132, Health Insurance Reform Commission Assessment of Certain Legislation Report.
Chair recognizes the senator from Botetourt, Senator Head.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that Senate Bill 132 pass. And speaking to that motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 132 deals with the Health Insurance Reform Commission. Currently, we send any mandated benefits and a few other things having to do with health insurance to the HIRC for review. Currently, only mandated benefits have a 24-month time limit, and this very, very simple bill just means that they now have a 24-month time limit on anything we send to them. So again, I ask that the bill pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 39, noes 1.
Ayes 39, noes 1. The bill passes.
Senate Bill 336, Photo Speed Monitoring Devices, High-Risk Intersection Segments.
Chair recognizes the junior senator from Prince William, Senator Rome.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move passage of the bill and speaking to that motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, SB 336 permits a state or local law enforcement agency to place and operate a photo speed monitoring device at a high-risk intersection segment located within the locality for the purpose of recording violations resulting from the operation of a vehicle in excess of the speed limit, provided that such law enforcement agency certifies that a traffic fatality has occurred there since January 1st, 2014. And with all due seriousness on this one, Madam President, this bill was requested by my constituents along Somerset Crossing in Gainesville after we had a terrible fatal crash there last year. And this is the short-term thing that we can do until we get the major infrastructure improvements that we need, and we have a separate bill to take care of that. So with that, Madam President, I move passage of the bill.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 22, noes 18.
Ayes 22, noes 18. The bill passes.
Senate Bill 338, Gun Violence, JLARC to Study Effects on Communities.
Chair recognizes Senator Salim, the senator from Central Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that Senate Bill 338 pass and speaking to that motion.
The senator may say on.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 338 directs the Joint Legislative Audit and Review Commission, JLARC, to study the social, physical, emotional, and economic effects of gun violence on communities across the Commonwealth. Gun violence has been one of the largest causes of death and leading killers of children in the United States. Between 2008 to 2017, over 9,000 Virginians were killed by gun violence, and firearms homicide rate has increased by 28%. In order to reduce gun violence and its effects, we need to understand the social, physical, emotional, and economic effects on communities. This study will give us the important context about the effects of gun violence on communities. So I ask that we pass this bill.
Chair recognizes the senator from Goochland, Senator McGuire.
Madam President, speaking to the bill.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, I think we would all agree that we're against violence,
but guns don't kill people, people kill people. It's our God-given right to protect ourselves, our family, and our children. And I wonder if we've ever considered a study to see the positive effects of guns on our community. I will say in London, they have the strictest gun laws in the world. And a few years ago, the mayor wanted to outlaw knives. So again, it makes us helpless victims. A study done by John Lott showed 56% of the felons surveyed stated that they would not attack someone who they knew were armed. Studies have shown that 92 to 98% of mass shootings occurred in gun-free zones, and National Institute for Science studies almost exclusively show that guns are used in self-defense more often than criminal activity. This is estimated to be as many as 3 million times per year. There are consistently lower injury rates among crime victims who are armed with a gun than those who are not. Thank you, Madam President.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 19.
Ayes 21, noes 19. The bill passes.
Senate Bill 516, all-terrain vehicles and off-road motorcycles, seizure, impounding, and disposition.
Chair recognizes the senator from Norfolk, Senator Williams Graves.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill pass. And speaking to the bill.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Senate Bill 516 is a local option for seizure, impounding, and disposition of ATVs and off-road motorcycles unlawfully operated on public highways. Virginia Code 46.2-916 allows local governments to pass ordinances to provide for the lawful seizure, impounding, and disposition of unlicensed or unregistered motorcycles operated either on the highway or on private property without the consent of the property owner. This bill proposes to amend Code 46.2-915.1 to allow local governments the same authority when it comes to seizing, impounding, and the disposition of unlawfully operated all-terrain vehicles and off-road motorcycles. This bill will help local governments address and deter the increase in unlawful and the reckless use of ATVs that endanger riders and passersby and have largely evaded law enforcement responses. It is important to note that ATVs are not motorcycles and motorcycles are not ATVs. The City of Norfolk and other localities are in the process of passing an ordinance to allow for the seizure and ultimately the destruction of unlicensed or unregistered motorcycles, but motorcycles are not ATVs under Virginia Code, hence the need for this bill. Citizens across the Commonwealth would benefit from safer roads and the peaceful and quiet enjoyment of their neighborhoods and roads. Law enforcement officers and local governments will have one more tool in their toolbox to stop and deter dangerous and potentially lethal abuse of our roads, walkways, and public ways. I move that the bill pass, Madam President.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 23, noes 17.
Ayes 23, no 17. The bill passes.
Uncontested calendar, Senate bills on second reading.
Chair recognizes Senator Surreville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Madam President, I move that all the Senate bills on second reading, uncontested calendar on pages 8 through 10, Senate bills 151 through 727, be advanced their engrossment in the third reading in the block. After the adoption of any amendments thereto, any senator desiring to remove a bill from the block shall do so after the after the clerk has read the number of the bill.
The question is, shall all Senate bills on second reading on the uncontested calendar on pages 8 through 10, Senate bills 151 through 727, be engrossed in advance to their third reading in the block, with the understanding that any senator desiring a bill to be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the bills. Those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The clerk will read the number of the bills.
Senate Bill 151, reported from the Committee on Finance and Appropriations with a substitute, and there is a floor amendment.
Chair recognizes Senator Suderline, the senator from Roanoke.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the committee substitute be adopted.
The question is, shall the substitute be adopted? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The substitute is adopted. Senator Suderline.
Thank you, Madam President. I move we waive the reading of the floor amendment.
The question is, shall the reading of the floor amendment be waived? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The reading of the floor amendment is waived. Senator Suderline.
Thank you, Madam President. The floor amendment deletes lines 10 to 45 of the substitute that we just adopted. As you look at the bill, you'll see it makes work of reducing 2 fees. There's some concerns about one of the fees, so that part is struck. That's lines 10 to 45. And then what remains is the other fee reduction over at the DMV. So I hope it will be a pleasure of the Senate to adopt the floor amendment.
The question is, shall the floor amendment be adopted? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The floor amendment is adopted.
Senate Bill 439, reported from the Committee on Rules, and there is a floor amendment.
Chair recognizes Senator Salim, the senator from Central Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the reading of the floor amendment be waived.
The question is, shall the reading of the floor amendment be waived? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The floor amendment, the reading thereof, is waived. Senator Salim.
Madam President, I move that the floor amendment be agreed to, and speaking on that.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, what this does is it strikes out line 102 through 105, just a technical amendment or technical insert to ensure that the staffing component for the Joint Commission or for the Commission is under Joint Commission on Technology and Science, and I ask that move that the floor amendments be agreed to.
The question is, shall the floor amendment be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The floor amendments are agreed to.
Senate Bill 121, reported from the Committee on Local Government with an amendment.
Chair recognizes Senator Subramaniam, the senator from Loudoun.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the committee amendment.
The question is, shall the committee amendment be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.
Senate Bill 460, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice with amendments.
Chair recognizes the senior senator from Fairfax County, Senator Marsden.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the committee amendments be agreed to.
Question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The amendments are agreed to.
Senate Bill 641, reported from the Committee on Local Government. Senate Bill 727, reported from the Committee on Local Government.
The question is, shall the Senate bills now be engrossed and advanced to their third reading? Those in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bills are engrossed and advanced to their third reading.
Regular calendar Senate bills on second reading. Senate Bill 357, a bill relating to assault and battery of a law enforcement officer penalty, reported for the Committee for Courts of Justice with a substitute.
Chair recognizes Senator Boysko, the senator from northwestern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the substitute be agreed to.
The question is, shall the substitute be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The substitute is agreed to. Senator Boysko.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? Those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 368, firearms storage in residence where minor or person prohibited from possessing is present, penalty. Reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice with amendments.
Again, Senator Boysko.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the committee amendments be agreed to.
The question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The committee amendments are agreed to. Senator Boysko.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
The question is, shall the bill be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Senate Bill 413, local planning and zoning matters public notice. Reported from the Committee on Local Government with a substitute.
Chair recognizes Senator Head, the senator from Botetourt.
Thank you, Madam President. I move adoption of the committee substitute.
The question is, shall the substitute be adopted? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The substitute is adopted. Senator Head.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill now be engrossed and advanced to its third constitutional reading.
The question is, shall the bill now be engrossed and advanced to its third reading? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill is engrossed and advanced to its third reading.
Uncontested calendar, Senate bills on first reading.
Chair recognizes Senator Sorovel, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move all the Senate bills on first reading on the uncontested and regular calendars, pages 12 to 19. Senate bills 4 through 517, that the rules be suspended, the first constitutional readings of the titles be dispensed with.
The question is, shall the rules be suspended and the first constitutional reading of the titles of Senate bills on the uncontested and regular calendar, Senate bills 4 through 517, pages 12 through 19, be dispensed with? All in favor of the motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The reading of the titles is dispensed with. Senator Sorovel.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that all the bills be passed by for the day.
The question is, shall the Senate bills on the uncontested and regular calendars now on their second reading go by for the day? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bills will go by for the day.
Uncontested calendar, Senate joint resolutions on third reading. Senate joint resolution.
Chair calls on Senator Sorovel.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that all the Senate joint resolutions on third reading, uncontested calendar, pages 19 through 20, SJR 16 through 28, be placed on their final passage in the block. Any senator desiring to move a resolution from the block, please do so after the clerk has read the number of the resolution.
The question is, shall the Senate joint resolutions on the uncontested calendar, third reading, pages 19 and 20, Senate Joint Resolution 16 through 28, be placed upon their final passage in the block with the understanding that any senator desiring a resolution to be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the resolution. All those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The resolutions are before us in the block. The clerk will read the number of the resolutions.
Senate Joint Resolution 16, Senate Joint Resolution 17, Senate Joint Resolution 23, Senate Joint Resolution 27, Senate Joint Resolution 28,
The question is, shall the resolutions in the block be agreed to? All in favor of agreeing to the resolutions will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolutions in the block are agreed to.
regular calendar, Senate Joint Resolutions on third reading. Senate Joint Resolution 21. Secretary to Rural Affairs, J. Lark, to study need for and feasibility of creating position.
Chair recognizes Senator Aird, the senator from Petersburg.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the committee amendments.
I think you're moving the resolution be agreed to.
I move the resolution be adopted.
The question is, shall the resolution be agreed to? She should explain it. Oh, that's right. And you have to explain it, Senator.
Thank you, Madam President. Speaking to that motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. This resolution is relative to trying to get recommendations from JLARC about the possible formation of a rural secretary. We want to make sure that the Commonwealth is using the best of its resources to support our rural communities. And so we're hoping that with JLARC's recommendations, we will be able to come back with a good pathway to do so. And now I move the resolution move forward.
The question is, shall the resolution be agreed to? Those in favor of agreeing to the resolution will say aye. Those opposed, no. The resolution is agreed to.
Senate Joint Resolution 26. Drugs JLARC to study scope and cost of penalizing possession as a felony.
Chair recognizes Senator Pekarsky, the senator from Western Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the resolution be agreed to. And speaking to that,
the senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. This resolution directs JLARC to study Virginia's criminalization of substance abuse. Possession of most drugs of abuse is a felony in Virginia. The National Institute of Mental Health classifies substance use disorders as a treatable mental health disorder. Time and time again, we have seen that treating drug abuse as a criminal issue does not work. By performing the study, JLARC can determine how treating drug abuse as a public health issue can help the Commonwealth fight substance abuse disorders, reduce the impacts of criminalization on marginalized communities, and save money by reducing the number of individuals incarcerated for felony drug abuse. I hope there will be support.
The question is, shall the resolution be agreed to? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The resolution is agreed to. I see 8 hands, more than 8. This will be a recorded vote. The question is, shall the resolution be agreed to? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 19.
Ayes 21, noes 19. The resolution is agreed to.
Madam President.
For what purpose does the junior senator from Prince William rise?
Madam President, having voted on the prevailing side by which we just passed SJ 26, I motion to reconsider so a member may change their vote.
The Senate will be temporarily at ease. Return to order. The question is, shall the vote by which Senate Joint Resolution 26 was passed be reconsidered? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, noes 0. The vote is reconsidered. Senator Pekarsky. The senator from Western Fairfax County.
I move passage of the resolution and hope it be agreed to.
The question is, shall the Senate joint resolution be agreed to? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 22, noes 18.
Ayes 22, noes 18. The resolution passes.
Uncontested calendar, Senate Joint Resolution on first reading. Senate Joint Resolution 3, proposing an amendment to Section 6A of Article 10 of the Constitution of Virginia relating to real property to tax exemption, surviving spouses of soldiers who died in the line of duty.
Chair recognizes Senator Surville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Inquiry of the clerk. Does that complete today's calendar while we still have 441 bills, or 47% of those filed in committee?
The calendar has passed.
Thank you.
Is there any other business to come before the Senate?
Madam Clerk. Madam President, I've asked for an announcement.
The junior senator from Virginia Beach, Senator Rouse, has the floor.
All right, so tonight is basketball practice, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., but just want to let you be clear about where we're meeting. The Fox Elementary School, the old one burned down. So do not use GPS to get there. You want to use 1101 Dance Street, all right? That will take you to Fox Elementary School. So while many of you may be attending the Southwestern party, you're not allowed to have any drinks other than water. And lastly, Madam President, if you are not at basketball practice tonight, I expect a physician's note in the morning. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Senator Stewart, the senator from King George.
Do we need to return to the morning hour, Madam President?
We indeed are, sir.
May we return to the morning hour, Madam President?
The senator has the floor.
Rise for an introduction, Madam President.
The senator may continue.
Madam President, in the gallery today, we are fortunate to have one of our supervisors from King George County, Ms. Kathy Bender. And I guess she's up here lobbying for things for the counties, a part of those groups that are doing it. She has done a great job for our county, works really hard on a number of areas, and we're really fortunate to have her on the board. And I would hope that you would offer her the warm welcome of the Senate, Madam President.
Good afternoon. We see you're riding solo today, but a committee of one can achieve a great deal, as we know. Thank you for volunteering to serve your Commonwealth. Senators, let us give her the warm welcome of her Senate. Any other business? The clerk will report any announcements on the desk.
Today, Wednesday, January 31st, the Committee on General Laws and Technology will meet 30 minutes after adjournment, Senate Room B. The Committee for Courts of Justice will meet 30 minutes after adjournment in Senate Room A. Tomorrow, Thursday, February 1st, the Finance and Appropriations Subcommittee on Health and Human Resources will meet at 7:30 a.m. in the Senate Finance and Appropriations Room, 13th floor, GAB. Senators Deeds, Eben, Obenshain, Reeves, Favola, and Boysko. The Committee on Education and Health will meet at 8:30 a.m. Senate Room A. The Republican caucus will meet at 11:15 a.m. in Senate Room 2 in the Capitol, and the Democratic caucus will meet at 11:30 a.m. in Senate Room 1 of the Capitol. And there are 15 shopping days until the big event.
Chair now calls on Senator Lucas, the senator from Portsmouth.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the Senate now adjourn until 12 noon on tomorrow.
The question is, shall the Senate stand adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow? All those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The Senate stands adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow.